And now we're gonna cover this bombshell. Bombshell that everybody knew was coming, but hey, it's a bombshell regardless. So, Joe Biden pulls out of the 2024 US presidential race. This is something that many of us expected. Many of us, meaning many of you, kind of. I mean, I also expected it. However, I was hoping he would still keep going. He would keep going until the bitter end in November polls. However, Modi, his team decided to pull out. I, for 1 second, don't believe that this was pretty much his decision. Maybe it was. Maybe he's just that old that he cannot remember his decisions from like 2 days ago. Pretty much anything is possible with an 81-year-old grandpa. My grandpa died at like 66 or 67 years old. I mean, I don't really see how the brain of 80 years old man works. Probably neither does his team. However, I do guess, is this good or bad for the Democrats? Yes. Yes. It is good for the Democrats because they decided to actually replace him, and they will most likely replace him with either Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris, which means they're gonna probably bolster their chances in the long run. However, they now are gonna have to pour much more funds into the campaign, much more. Their billionaire donors are gonna have to show themselves. They're gonna show they have big balls energy, otherwise they're gonna lose. And it is a bad for the Democrats because it shows that they sent a candidate who was clearly not up to it to the presidential primaries. This makes you look incredibly weak. Combine it with the assassination attempt on former President Trump, and you got yourself a massive wildfire. You have to somehow not exhaust, but you have to water it down. So, let's read the article. It is from Sky News, and it is very now. Like, it dipped like half an hour ago, so it's going to keep getting updated. I'm gonna refresh just in case. So, Joe Biden has pulled out of the presidential race, saying it is in the best interest of my party and the country. No, like, somebody in his team finally had the right moment. Or maybe it was really up to him. I still sort of believe that it was up to his team. And probably up to his wife, to be more precise. Probably, honestly, I would not be even surprised that his wife wanted him to stay for power, for the connections, influences, who knows. Because like this, saying it is in my best interest of my party and the country, he should have been saying before he got into the primaries. And then he should have said that he will not take part in the presidential primaries, that it is in his best interest. Not now. Right now, it is pretty much disastrous. You've already won the primaries. People are going to be very angry with the Democratic Party, and they will see just how delusional the Democratic Party is. You have the Project 2025. I am also on the course of reading it. However, it is very boring. Well, it was very interesting in the beginning. However, then whoever fucking wrote it decided to just put a Wikipedia article, many Wikipedia pages into the Project 2025, so that kind of got me bored. However, I'm gonna return to it hopefully sometimes next week, and we're gonna read until we finish it, until we finish that megalomaniac project. The Project 2025 is major speaking point, and Democrats could definitely use it to bring light upon just what kind of people support the Republican Party. This could definitely sway the undecided voters' opinion towards the Democrats. And what else could sway the undecided voters to the Democrats is the Vice President Vance. I still think that he is very weak, and his only appeal to the presidential candidate, to the presidential race, is his age. I think that's the only possible argument you can make about him, why he was chosen or why he was picked above other candidates. Let's read it. Joe Biden has pulled out. Joe Biden has pulled out of the 2024 presidential race in a development that sends the contest into uncharted territory. On the second thought, it was probably a bad idea to eat those noodles. Now I'm going to be having these recurring annoyances. The US president announced that he will no longer be seeking a second term. He has thrown his support behind Kamala Harris, urging Democrats to donate to her campaign as he stood down. Okay, so I actually found a tweet about that on Twitter, however, it seems it won't be necessary. I also made a reply, maybe somebody will reply to my reply, we'll see. So let's continue with this article. Meanwhile, in a letter addressed to my fellow Americans, Mr. Biden said it had been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. While it has been my intention to seek re-elections, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as a president for the remainder of my term. Yeah. Best interest for my party and the country. You realize that only now? Like, now it's too fucking late. Well, it's not too late. Anything can happen. Like, people are saying that the Republicans have this in the bag. I beg to differ. Very much. The Republicans most definitely do not have this in the bag. And I think there's a very good chance that the Republicans are going to screw this up. It wouldn't be the first time, and it will definitely not be the last time. You only have to pick the most radical, the most mad ideas within the Republican Party and bring them towards the light. Expose it to your voters, to the world. And when they'll see it, they will most definitely rethink their decision. He has endorsed Kamala Harris. He has endorsed Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee, saying, Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Posting a link to her campaign fundraiser, he wrote, if you are with us, donate to her campaign. And I think she's going to also get every money from his campaign. That would be logical. In the letter posted on Twitter, he wrote, I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. Okay, so his teleprompter will speak to the nation later this week, and his team is going to explain to the teleprompter why he decided to withdraw, which we all know now. We have known about this for like 4 years. Even in 2020, he already seemed very old, much more old than Trump. However, only 4 years separates them. However, it's just seen that the age has took a bigger toll on him than on Trump. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me re-elected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today, what I always have, that there is nothing America can do. When we do it together, we just have to remember we are the United States of America. Mr. Biden, Joe Biden, he posted the statement on Twitter with a love heart. Blah, 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 blah. We all heard that before. Mr. Biden plans to serve out the remainder of his term in office, which ends at noon on 20th January 2025. The seismic development comes after months of speculation about Mr. Biden's age and fitness to serve another 4 years amid a series of high-profile gaffes and disastrous debate performance. Only after months, more like after years. Although it were Republicans who were talking about his mental health before, so Democrats were very conveniently closing their eyes, dosing that copium, and it blew spectacular in their face. As of Saturday night, he had planned to stay in the race, but told senior staff on Sunday afternoon he was withdrawing, a source familiar with the matter told Reuters. Donald Trump has reacted to the news, telling Sky News, US partner NBC News, Mr. Biden should have never been in the race. I completely and wholeheartedly agree. Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of the United States by far, he said. I wholeheartedly disagree. You seriously want to compare him to the slave presidents, huh? Yeah. Good job. Like, unironically, GG. Yeah. Worse than slave presidents, like, I wanna vomit. Unironically, I wanna vomit. He was bad president, however, he wasn't the worst, so... Like, calm your horses. There has never been a president who has done such damage to our country, from energy independence to letting in millions and millions of illegal immigrants. A source close to the president recently admitted we are close to the end after Barack Obama, the former president who picked Mr. Biden as his vice president during his 2 terms in office, reportedly shared his concerns about his allies' re-election bid. Mr. Biden tested positive for COVID while on campaign day with mild symptoms including general malaise. Attention will now turn to those who will succeed him, with the election likely to happen at the Democratic National Convention in August. It will likely be Kamala Harris because he endorsed her. However, things can happen. Variables can play in, and someone like Gavin Newsom can be selected in the end. Oh, who am I kidding? Only California is going to pick Gavin Newsom, then every single other state is going to pick Kamala Harris. And this is everything about the article. Indeed, I am not surprised at all. I was hoping, however, he would still keep going and he would face Donald in November. Not because I wanted Democrats to lose, however, I wanted Democrats to learn a very, very important lesson, which is do not fuck with your fucking voters and do not dose that stupid copium you've been dosing for so many years. Anyone, and I mean anyone, with a tiny bit of a common sense would have been able to tear apart the Republicans, would have been able to tear apart all that religious radicalism within that party. Project 2025 has been served to you on a silver pedestal. Anyone with the common sense would destroy the Republicans in a debate. Yet, they decided to go with somebody who was 77 years old. And the main reason why they went with him was because he was the vice president of Barack Obama, the first black president in the United States, and also a quite a bit popular president, who won both of his elections quite decisively. You had 4 years to come up with a new candidate. Even though I did not agree with Biden's pick at 2020 either. However, you should have known by then that he is 77 years old. And you should have known that his health will keep deteriorating. Like, he's entering his 80s. Do you not have any concept about how aging works? Like, it is only a matter of time before he's going to start to get more and more senile, uncontrollable. And it will not matter just how many drugs he will take. He will keep getting more and more senile. You had 4 years to groom yourself an ideal candidate, a perfect candidate from all that 70+ million voters that voted for Biden in 2020. Yet you choose not